Hey, Kelsey, nice to meet you on the phone. This is Chris Kara, and hey, guess who I brought? Maybe back up there.
Nice to meet you.
That was, everybody's an all-star for that sometimes. We were just walking by, and I mentioned him as he was coming in for a little bit before pre-training type thing. I'm sure we were going in with you.
Just thought I'd tag along.
Yeah, why not?
Cool,
Yeah, definitely. Thanks. Just wanted to get in contact with you. We were just talking about some past games. He's got a busy week coming up.
Yeah,
so
have a rough couple of weeks, but we have a 2-week rest now, and we're going to do first things first, rest, and we'll get back to our winning ways.
Have you seen some of the games?
I've caught bits and pieces. I haven't really watched that, but sorry, David.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, we do get that a lot. The game's sort of growing and whatnot. So I mean, I haven't been in the country for what? How long have you been here for? About 5 or 6 years for a while. So. We're trying to grow the game a little bit too, so that's sort of the side of it. You said you've been to maybe a couple games in the past. What's sort of your level of interest with the team and whatnot?
Yeah, I went to a few games last year. I actually grew up in the Midwest, and I grew up playing soccer, and I followed the team a little bit there, but I moved out to LA, and I don't follow Galaxy too much. I'm sorry.
Right.
Sorry, David, don't be mad.
How many games did you make last year?
I went to like 3-ish. I went with family once. My family came out to visit them and a couple friends, and then I did like a networking event up in one of the suites. So.
League score?
I don't remember.
Assists maybe?
Probably assists. He was like second best in the league in assists, so he's done some good things for us. Trust us. What I wanted to gauge too was, if you remember some of the games that you went to in the past, what were some of your great takeaways of that game?
Oh, at the Galaxy game, atmosphere is everything. Everyone's so excited. I'm not a huge soccer fan, and I caught myself yelling and screaming things that people around me were yelling. And
cool.
Just like everybody's there just to cheer on the Galaxy and having a good time and just putting themselves in and just going for it.
Right. Okay, cool. So you sort of like the fan atmosphere, the loyalty of the fans, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Obviously, David knows about that. He's been in England for a long time. So
fans are great.
Right. It's a very loyal sport. If you haven't noticed, I don't know if you're a fan of other sports, but we like to think that we have some of the most loyal fans out of any other sport. So I think that's something that's very much what we like to talk about with a lot of different people. And we know that's very important for both company, business-wise and personal-wise. If there was maybe one thing you didn't really like about the game, what didn't you like about that?
The fans were great and everything, but sometimes I just wanted to sit down. I just wanted to sit, and I was sitting. I had pretty good seats or whatever the couple times that I went, and I just wanted to relax a little bit. And even at halftime, everyone was still standing and cheering, which is really great and it's awesome. And I hate that I wanted to sit down and made me feel really old. But I just wanted to relax a little bit,
We get that a lot with a number of different people, family-wise too. Sometimes, we have the supporters in the North End and whatnot that are very, number of different supporter groups that, I don't know how they do it sometimes too. He knows coming from England and whatnot, all the fans. So, now you mentioned sort of the interest of the game, the fans, the passion and things like that. I'd assume that's a very important part of what you guys are all about in Chase. Can you talk a little bit about what's important for you guys as a company as a whole?
Right. Well, we work with people's money, so being trusted and being trustworthy is of utmost importance. We trust all of our employees completely, and they trust us higher ups to keep them in line and do that sort of things. And our clients come back because they can trust us. And in this economy, that's very important to us, is that people feel comfortable with us handling their money and handling their finances and being a part of their life like no other person outside of their family is.
Okay, cool. That sort of wraps into some of the goals, obviously, as a company. What goals do you guys have? Obviously, the way the market is over the last few years, it's been very volatile. From the research I've done in the past, based on what I've read up about you guys, you can correct me if this is wrong, you guys seem to be very, you stay within this sort of parameter, while other companies have gone off in different directions that maybe had success, probably not in this type of economy. What's made you guys sort of successful and been very, steadfast in what you guys believe in?
Right. Well, with the economy, of course, there's been a lot of scrutiny against banks. How we spend our money is everyone's main focus right now, especially our clients, especially our employees. Making sure that we don't have to be bailed out by the government is of utmost importance to us. With everyone watching what we're doing, we don't want to be throwing money anywhere that would be seen as irresponsible to anyone who's watching. So
Yeah, we see that. We see that a lot in Europe sometimes with
Yeah.
the teams. Well, I don't know if you're familiar with how in Europe soccer works, but they actually, we sort of have somewhat of a salary cap here, somewhat in our league. Over in Europe, they spend as much money as possible. I mean, so that's sort of like the difference between the two, and we understand that totally. In terms of from a marketing side, business side, what are you sort of looking for? Marketing-wise, as a company, obviously you're a little bit more HR and things, but
Right.
is there something that percolates throughout the company, up from the top to the bottom, about what you guys are looking for marketing-wise? That kind of thing?
client retention right now is our main focus. Keeping the clients that we have, keeping the people that have been with us for a while is our main focus. We got to keep them happy. We got to make sure they already trust us. We got to make sure that trust stays, and we're loyal to them, and so they are loyal to us, which is very important. And obviously, our employees staying around, they're already trained, they already know what they're doing. We trust them, they trust us. Like, keeping them around is also a very big focus for us.
Right. Yeah, loyalty. That's what we find a lot too with a number of different companies. Loyalty is it's oftentimes though too. They find it very hard. They want to do it, but sometimes it gets lost in the translation. They're not really sure how to do that. What are you looking for? What do you do right now in terms of employee retention? What type of maybe perks do you do, or things of that nature that sort of keeps people around?
In the office, it's a pretty laid back setting. I mean, we are a bank, so we are professional, but with each other, I mean, our employees are friends. We are close. We hang out, but we also do as a company charity dinners and like golf tournaments, stuff on weekends, just different events throughout the year, just to make sure that outside the office everyone's bonding and staying happy and able to focus on work during the week and on the weekends
Okay,
get
cool.
to be a little bit more relaxed.
I also noticed in the past, you guys do a lot with veterans. You guys are trying to employ a lot of veterans coming back. I think it's a goal of you guys, maybe 1,000 veterans throughout your company and things like that. That's a very important part of what you guys are doing.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, cool. So in terms of employee side, again, sort of delving into that a little bit more, are you guys doing anything with other sports-wise or anything like that?
As of right now, no, we really haven't seen, we've seen perks and interest in other sports, and other companies are using that, and it's works for some of them, and others they just wouldn't recommend it to anyone, but we really haven't put ourselves in that situation yet. You guys are one of the first people to actually look at us for that type of thing,
Oh, okay.
so this is a pretty new experience for us. So.
What other companies have you done that have, what other companies do you know of that have utilized sort of, going out to sporting events and things like that from a marketing side? Because I also want to delve, that might be part of it, but also like the client retention and gaining some new clients through inviting them to games and things like that.
The companies that we speak with are usually other banks. Obviously nothing formal, but I have friends that work at other bank branches and other banks, and just like the branches specifically in our, like across the nation, like our specific branches, they've done things with their local teams, and something like that's usually more for employees than clients, but
Okay.
it's worked out for them for the most part. Like I don't know what sports specifically, but getting out there to the games has kind of helped them, and my friends seem happier who are over there and stuff. So
You would say that they seem to work a little bit better. You obviously want to give back to the employees who are sort of obviously pushing the company up forward,
Yeah,
right? So that's
exactly.
important. Okay. What we find interesting, and Dave can sort of speak to this a little bit too about the loyalty factor and what's interesting about that. What we expect out of our fan base is very loyal, as we talked about a lot. Soccer fans are very loyal, wherever around the world.
They're
So-
really supportive.
Right.
They're really what makes us play at that next level.
So what we try to do, fans are very loyal to us. We have to be as loyal as we can to them, and I'm sure it works vice versa for you guys also. What we're trying to do is find out what might work for you guys in terms of actually building a little bit more client base. If you have some people you might want to get in contact with it in a natural setting. Obviously, a business setting can be very hard to actually talk to them a little bit more.
right.
And what we'd like to do is see if we can talk a little bit further about possibly getting you out to a couple games. How can we involve the marketing side of things, involve a marketing idea, and then also involve the employee retention and the employee satisfaction with clients and things like that. going forward. I think loyalty is a huge factor, and we know how to do that probably better than anybody else in the sports market or in probably any other market. And that's how we feel. We're very confident in that. And Dave can speak to that too about having worked all around the world. Played all, that's not even right. I'm sorry, that's not even word. Played all around the world with fans that love their teams to death. And what we want is for people to love everything about you guys.
Right.
And I'm sure there's people like that. I'm sure there's people that are sort of on the fence about that. I'm sure there's a number of people, but there are people that I found that are moving from another bank to you guys. And there are reasons for that. Maybe there's another way we can kick more over. How does that sound?
That sounds awesome.
Okay, so what would be the next, in terms of the next steps, what would you need from me in terms of talking? Well, actually, let me ask you this. We want to create another meeting maybe in, how about a week from Friday? Would that work for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Around 3 o'clock?
I can clear up some space.
Okay, what I'd like to do is see if we can talk over some different opportunities. Maybe talk about possibly a number of tickets for you guys that involve a marketing idea, because I think our marketing department was actually talking about this. I was going out to a meeting, mentioned it to them. They have a couple ideas that they'd like to shoot around. I'd like to create a little bit of a presentation that I can show you on that Friday. I'll show you the presentation that morning. And what I'd like to get from you is ask your higher ups what they are looking for, from a marketing side, okay? Obviously it's not your sole department, but maybe a little bit that sort of wraps into the whole thing. And then also what you want from them, what are they expecting for a client retention, client satisfaction, and employee satisfaction, things like that, okay? Come back with those answers, even if they're very, somewhat basic, but just so I have an idea as to what your higher ups are looking for, so obviously you can get your job done, get it done well, okay? So we'll meet you on Friday at 3. I'll shoot you the presentation that morning at around 10 o'clock, and we'll go a little bit further, see if we can't come out to a couple of those games and get you out to, what's the next one?
It's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
31st.
31st, yes. So we will get you out there, so about a week before. Sound good?
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
awesome.
Look forward to speaking with you on Friday. Thanks a lot for meeting.
And I won't be able to make it to the next meeting, but it was nice to meet you.
It was nice to meet you. Thank you so much
Sorry
for
to have
coming.
training.
Thank you.
See you later.